Let's talk about strategic planning. Strategy is your unique method for achieving a sustained competitive advantage in your market. And elements of that may sound familiar to you because I am paraphrasing one of the most famous strategists or writers on strategy in the world, Michael Porter. The table of contents for strategic planning. What do we need to win? Build a sustained competitive advantage. Market environment affects strategy. So what is strategic planning? The simplest definition, the most direct definition is what we need to do to win in our market. But this raises a lot of questions. So before we unpack it, let's just talk a little bit about what that definition means. What do we need to do to win? It has to be something unique. We're trying to achieve a competitive advantage, and that's going to make us unique in the marketplace. Otherwise, we will never be the market leader. We need to leverage assets, especially human assets, human resources. We need to achieve some sort of synergy where we're doing more together than each of us could do alone. And we're not just reacting to the market or not just reacting to the market environment. That in and of itself is not a strategy. That impacts on strategy, but just reacting to the marketplace is not a strategy. That is a tactic. So we're going to start by defining our unique market. And we're going to ask the question, who are we trying to serve? Who is the stakeholder? Who is the customer? Who are we serving? And the example that Porter uses a lot is in the auto industry, you are not just trying to sell the most cars possible. You are identifying what your unique value proposition is. So Mercedes is selling to a different market or has a different unique value proposition than Kia or than even Volkswagen. You've also got to define what a win is. You're not trying to be all things to all people. You're starting your strategic plan by defining the market and then defining what your success is, defining what the win is. And a lot of people skip that step and don't communicate it well. It's a key part of your vision. Porter spoke a lot about a sustained competitive advantage. That to him is the core of strategic planning, developing a sustained competitive advantage. And this requires you to identify who your competition is. Who are you chasing and who is chasing you? You've got to look not just at direct competitors. You've got to look at competitors, of course. But you've also got to look at substitutes, both existing and just beyond the horizon. And this is one of the things about strategic planning that is so difficult. You always have to be looking just beyond the horizon, and that is not easy to do. Finally, environment influences strategy. Market strategy is different for incumbents and disruptors. Incumbents and disruptors have different strategies. Market leaders are focused on holding on to existing customers and on serving the customers they have now and growing that incrementally, locking them in with a strong brand and a strong set of new products or new services, new product development. Disruptors are better off shaking up the market and maybe destroying the category, maybe coming up with a new product that renders the old product obsolete. Apple was famous for this. Apple did this with the iPhone, and later they did it with the iPad. And you do this by creating unique value. Whichever strategy you're pursuing, it's got to be unique. Otherwise, other people are just going to copy you out of existence. Final word on strategic planning. Strategic plans are your blueprint for outperforming other firms or teams in your space. It starts by defining what your market is and goes on to describe the method for building a sustainable competitive advantage. Thanks very much. I will talk to you again soon.